All right, guys, welcome to a very special episode of the Left Side View. So this is our AEW pay-per-view review episode. We will review Revolution that took place yesterday. So let's begin with the main show, and let's begin with the first match. That is between Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho. I think again a great story that these guys have been able to tell. Chris Jericho, a veteran, whereas Eddie Kingston, almost 39 or 40 years old, but still his first big break in a major company, in a major wrestling promotion. And uh, people were always like, Eddie, you lose the big one, you lose the big one. And that's what it came down to. So a lot of pressure on someone like Eddie Kingston to win this match, to win a match against a veteran like Chris Jericho. And I think they did a good thing on Amitabh. I think the right man won. Eddie Kingston ended up winning the match. But then again, the question was, like Jericho had promised that if he would lose this match, he would shake Eddie Kingston's hand, but that didn't really happen. So I also feel that there is more to this story. But yeah, what are your views here on that?
Yeah, so I think it is something that I'll keep repeating because again we have said this so often that in professional wrestling, so there are two components. First, you build up the storyline, and then the match actually has to deliver. And I guess AEW did a fantastic job with all the matches, and this was a great way to kickstart the main event. And yeah, I mean, right from I have to like admit it was the first time I actually heard Judas, properly. And if you remember, I messaged you that it is such a great song. And right from there, as soon as Eddie Kingston's music hit, he just came down the ramp and he was ready for action. I mean, no acknowledgement basically of the crowd. And if you look at the timing of all the matches, this was relatively a shorter match, a 13-minute match, but it was, action packed, especially with the chops on the chest of both the players. I mean, both their chests were crimson red, and whoever says that all this is fake, you just have to look at that. And Jericho was going on, on the orbital board of Eddie Kingston. He was really not able to see with one eye, and still they went at it. Um, Finally, yes. If this story had to make sense, Eddie Kingston had to win this because it is all about personalities now. I would say that a couple of the moves, um, Jericho and Eddie both looked a little. How do I put it? It was not seamless. Uh, so if you remember the lion saw sequence, Kingston actually had to move to make sure that Jericho could reach him basically, and there were similar incidents. So yeah, just a couple of incidents, and believe me, I'm just splitting hairs here. A great match, and yeah, the final, shaking of the hand that did not happen. So that again leaves us with a room to explore more possibilities in this rivalry. So a great way to start the match, the show actually. Yeah.
Agreed, a great way to kick off. So yeah, I think we can move on to the second match. Again, another great match. I think the only thing is that in this match, we probably knew, or at least I probably thought that, uh, like I knew who was going to win. But then again, the fact that it was a little predictable, but still, it didn't really change change the way I approached this match. I think we already knew that Jurassic Express versus a Dragon versus Young Bucks, so it would all come down to like they would actually come to blows this time, Red Dragon and Young Bucks, and that would actually give someone like Jurassic Express, maneuver and space to make their moves and retain the title, so that we can finally see maybe uh, an actual match between Red Dragon versus Young Bucks. So which is what happened. But having said that, like I said, this didn't really change how good this match was. I think all three teams had some great spots. All three teams had some great moments to shine, and in the end, I think the right team won. Yeah,
Yeah, so it definitely takes us back to the Dudley Boys versus Hardy Boys versus again Christian feud. I mean, action packed all the way through, and everybody doing their bit to take the match to the next level. I was actually quite amazed at the flexibility of Luchasaurus of all the people. Um, I mean, had not seen that. I thought he was one who would, be left out in this match. But okay, that was not the case. And talking about the Young Bucks, I mean, every time I see them, I, I, I mean, I love the Penta and I've always forget the name of the other
Ray
person.
Phoenix.
Yeah, Ray Phoenix. So I have a soft spot for them, but the Young Bucks are a different kettle of fish, man. I mean, the things they can do. I mean, they reminded me so much of Shawn Michaels for some, strange reason. The way they entered and the nonchalance, the arrogance, and of course the earrings and long hair helped. So, coming back to the match, till the halfway point, there seemed to be some sort of agreement between the Red Dragon and Young Bucks, but of course that had to fall by the wayside because it was every team for themselves. And yeah, a great match, and yeah, we are looking at a potential of the Young Bucks versus Red Dragon in the future, and maybe some new opponents for the tag team champions. Right?
Yeah, maybe someone else will be the number one contender, to take on Jurassic Express, hopefully FTR. At the same time, if FTR is going to lose, then I
John
don't really
Moxley
want.
and Brand Daniels.
Yeah, yeah, we'll talk about those two. Yeah. I think now we can move on to the face of the Revolution ladder match. So again, some great competitors. Uh, six competitors, and I think all six competitors, like the tag team match, even here, all of them had their moments to shine. Someone like Orange Cassidy is already so much over with the crowd. Keith Lee, again, a new guy, so maybe didn't really make much sense. As we have seen with AEW and with Tony Khan, that even though he is signing all these WWE guys, but at the same time, for him, he doesn't really stop pushing the guys that have been there from day one. So in a way, yes, I think it was a good decision to not have someone like Keith Lee win something like this right away. Christian Cage again a veteran. So for him, it was just more like giving these guys a rub, not really winning because no one would, to be honest, no one would really question him if he were to win this match. But at the same time, he's not really there to maybe win these matches. He's mainly there to put these guys over. So I think even that made sense. Even someone like Ricky Starks, who is again just so good. And then again another member of Team Taz, that is Will Hobbs. So we had three powerhouses, not to mention the winner, the eventual winner, which is Wardlow. So yes, I think in terms of all the guys that were a part of this match, I think Wardlow is the most over right now, especially with his involvement in the CM Punk MJF storyline. So yes, it actually made sense for Wardlow, Mr. Mayhem, to win this match. And like I said, all the guys had some great spots, some great moments to shine. Three big powerhouses, in Hobbs and Keith Lee and Wardlow. So even those three took on each other, and there was a moment when all six were in the ring and taking on each other. So some great spots, some callbacks as well. I still remember. I think when Christian Cage was standing in the corner of the ring, and the callback was to NXT when Finn Balor was in the ring in the corner, and then all of a sudden Keith Lee came out. So we had a similar spot here where instead of Finn Balor, it was Christian Cage who was standing, and then Keith Lee came out. That was actually a callback to NXT. Um, Again, I think just one thing that I want to mention here. I think Orange Cassidy. I remember that there was a time when Orange Cassidy was, I think, so over. He even beat someone like Chris Jericho. But I think in a way similar to Darby Allin, his stock has actually fallen. He is a part of a lot of these feuds, but maybe because of his gimmick, maybe because of his character, not everyone maybe takes him seriously. Like they like him, he's over, but at the same time, no one really expects him to win these matches. And we also had, a mini interruption, or you can say a cameo again from very nice, very evil Danhausen. He also cursed Ricky Starks. So again, a great moment. Again, we haven't really seen any match or anything like that from Danhausen, but again, he is again someone who is just so over with the crowd. Another great acquisition from Ring of Honor by Tony Khan. Obviously, considering the fact that when he signed him, he didn't really know that he would actually acquire Ring of Honor. But yeah, I think in the end it was Wardlow who won this match and a great ladder match. So yeah, anything that you want to add here?
I think you've covered it pretty well, actually, Rahul. So, again, when someone like Orange Cassidy is involved, there is bound to be, some humor in the match, and again, that did not disappoint. But I especially remember when I guess it was Wardlow and Keith Lee who were, holding the ring over their heads, and he tried to grab the brass ring, on top of the ladder. So again, there are so many things that I want to say here. The first thing is, when there are so many athletes, the biggest worry is someone is being overshadowed. That did not happen. Everybody had their spots, and they were, uh, basically, to the audience, they did what they had to. Of course, there'll be just one winner, but nobody felt like a loser. They can all go from here to, their respective feuds with their heads held high. The second thing is, yes, I think if I can remember, I can draw a parallel with someone like Damien Sandow or Santino Marella. When you are, having such sort of a gimmick, slowly but surely you are sort of relegated to, only entertaining the people, and then they stop taking you seriously as a, wrestler, professional wrestler. So maybe he has to do a, evil heel turn in order to be considered for, as a genuine contender for matches such as this. And finally, I'm sure there'll be, plenty of green pastures for Keith Lee. Right now, AEW is totally back in Wardlow, and I think they are, seeing him as at the, next Batista, if I can say that. So they are pumping him up, and yeah, great match. I especially remember one uh, sort of spear that someone, I don't remember who gave it to him, but through the ladder, from the side of the ring, through the ladder, a spear, and that was a particular moment that, yeah, wow, Rahul.
Yeah, I think it was Ricky Stark because first of all, I think only he's someone who could have the agility to do something like that. I think all the other
Yeah,
guys
maybe he can also fit through the ladder. So yeah.
exactly. I think it must have been him. But yeah, I think we can. So yeah, I like before we move on to the next match. I think actually after this match, Tony Schiavone came out and he had an announcement to do. So another free agent from WWE and another new acquisition by Tony Khan. So it was Isaiah Scott or Shane Strickland. Now that he's called, which is what we used to go by before NXT. I mean, again, another of Master DJs from WWE. The guy was in NXT, and then within a month, I think, or a couple of weeks, moving to the main roster to SmackDown, he was released. So we couldn't really see, what he didn't even scratch the surface uh, on the main roster. But another great acquisition, I think. Again, uh, it's all about expectations, in my opinion. He's a great wrestler. He can have some great matches. At the same time, uh, not really someone that I would say is going to be a world champ or anything like that, but he can compete for someone like a TNT title. And especially now that we've already talked about this before, that now that they've got Ring of Honor as well, so maybe, yeah. So another great use of someone like him, I think. But yes, now we can move on to a match that and a storyline that you had been following a lot: the MJF versus CM Punk Dog Collar match. So in this match, I think in a way, at least I thought that we knew who would win. Uh, the only question was the way he won it. Like the question was, would he win it like this here, or would AW wait in letting something like that happen? So, do you want to take it from here, Amitabh?
Yeah, so continuing to make Wardlow relevant, he actually had a huge say in this match. He came out towards the end and uh, showed as if he had forgotten the ring of MGF, and he could not help him out there. But when MGF was attacked and he was on the mat, he actually left the ring there for CM Punk to use. So that is how it ended. Again, leaves a lot of scope for the feud to go. And this is something that we discussed, on our Sunday's episode, that maybe it's time for the inner circle. Maybe they will break and starting with Wardlow, and let's see if he joins CM Punk or he just leaves and goes his own way. Coming back to the match, Punk came in with his ROH entrance theme. Again, great move, and I think he was in his ROH attire as well. So
Yep.
once the dot collar was bound, both of them, um, there was a lot of storytelling in the match as well. Punk started the match with, he started to dominate the match in the initial phases. There was always also a moment when MJF was on his knees and he was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But I guess right from there, he started taking ascendancy of the match and, low blows. And he actually, for the lack of a better word, I think spanned him with those metal chains, and that left a mark. And it was painful to watch, actually. And then, of course, there was blood, the recent wound that Punk had suffered. So MJF opened that up. There was a lot of blood in this match, and yeah, that is how they took it forward. And
Even
finally,
I think at one point even thumbtacks came out.
yeah, I mean, just before the end, yeah, thumbtacks came out. So um, yeah, this is something that mankind used to do. Mick Foley, but yeah, and they went the extra mile. It was just to make the rivalry as aggressive as they could, and yeah, a lot of room for new possibilities here. So let's see how they take it from here. Rahul?
Yeah, obviously, like we said, I don't really think we don't really think that this is going to be the end of this feud. I think uh, it's 1-1 right now, so we will see a rubber match. I think we will see one final match wherein whoever wins maybe is the decisive winner of this feud. Some people are saying that CM Punk should now actually go after Adam Page's title. Let's see. I mean, obviously, like with the roster that they have and with the options that AEW have, they can do anything. It all depends if they want to continue this feud or not. In my opinion, it still makes sense to continue this feud, but let's see. Maybe they can maybe revisit this feud down the lane, if not right away. I would be like, the thing is that yeah, whatever AEW do, I just know that they're gonna do it right. So even if they don't do this feud, they put a halt to this feud. We just know that whoever MJF takes on next, whoever CM Punk takes on next, it's gonna be good to watch. Yeah. We can probably now move on to another great banger of a match that I was really looking forward to. Someone that I've actually really started to admire. That is American Dragon Brian Danielson. We didn't really get to see much, of this side. Um, the the nasty, vicious American Dragon, something that I've actually become a big fan of. Uh, I mean, uh, in fact, I even read an interview, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, wherein Brian Danielson revealed part of his conversation with Vince McMahon before he left or before he made the decision to join AEW. He was talking to Vince, and he clearly, like in the interview, actually, Brian Danielson said that I don't really want to reveal too much because he knows that Vince is actually a very private person. So he only revealed a part of that conversation. He said that Vince asked him, "What do you actually want to stay?" So Brian Danielson's answer was that he wants blood. Blood actually makes him feel alive. And Vince McMahon, because he cares so much about Daniel Bryan or Bryan Allen, that it's something that he cannot give him because of the PG era and everything. He can't really give Brian Danielson that. So yeah, he didn't really want any restrictions or inhibitions anymore. I guess he wanted to go back to his Ring of Honor or American Dragon days. He didn't really want to be a part of that PG era anymore. And I'm so glad, to be honest, that he chose to leave WWE. Like out of all the WWE wrestlers that AEW have signed, I think Brian Danielson is without a doubt, in my opinion, the best one. So yeah, a great match that I was looking forward to. And again, the match didn't really disappoint, except for maybe the ending, I guess, the finish. But again, like the promos were that I don't need this chair to make you bleed, and that was true. There was blood, there was violence. Again, two guys who thrive on violence. So even John Moxley was there doing his thing. Uh, and yeah, in the end, all of a sudden, a quick count in a way, shoulders were down, and yeah, John Moxley won. But again, that didn't really stop these two from fighting. And all of a sudden, there was another guy who came out without an entrance music. It was none other than NXT's former general manager, William Regal. So the commentators were like, he's been a mentor to both these guys. So in the end, he asked both of these guys to shake hands, even slapped both of them once. And yeah, lo and behold, these two shook hand, and it does look like now that we're probably going to see a faction or a tag team at least between these two led by William Regal. So if that's true, let's see. First of all, if that actually happens, and true, if that happens, can these two actually coexist, and for how long? And if they can, then I guess Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are in trouble. So yeah, let's see. Anything that you want to add here, Amitabh?
Yes, Rahul. So, again, this match lived up to the hype. We have waited so long for, this sort of a match. And one more promise that Bryan Danielson made was that out of the two of us, only one will bleed. He did say, I don't need a chair to make you bleed. And then he also said this, and then both of them were true. And a word of appreciation for John Moxley as well. I mean, we all know Daniel Bryanson and his roots as a grappler. So we all know that his tactics and techniques are more of a professional wrestler. But for Moxley, he's known more of as a fighter. But the suplexes, the chokeholds, the submission moves that he actually, with his performance, enhanced the match a lot. And again, it was, I think the way it ended that way because it would have been difficult for AEW to, give a clean victory to any one of them. And they had to give a victory to the face because this will be something that will be, burning in the heart of the heel. Even when they are together, when they will break in the future. So it just leaves that option open. And yeah, with William Regal now in the scene, maybe he'll act as a caretaker, club manager, whatever capacity, and he'll take them to newer heights as a faction. Maybe they'll have more, the youngsters that fought Bryan Danielson in the last couple of weeks. Maybe they'll recruit one of them. I don't know. I mean, again, the possibilities are endless, and yeah, a great match. I mean, it did not disappoint is actually not the right way of saying it. It exceeded expectations, and both of them brought their A game. Moxley loves a fight. He loves to be violent, and again, as you said, this is a side of Bryan Danielson that we have not witnessed for the past decade. So again, great match, and totally loved it. Now,
Yeah. I think now we can move on to the six-man tag team match between Darby Allin, Sting, and Sammy Guevara to take on Andrade, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy. I think, I mean, this was just before the main event, and to be honest, even this match exceeded expectations because at least with the other matches, you expected these matches to be good, but this was more like a silent hit in a way. I mean, someone like Sting, who's 62, 63 years old, he put someone like Andrade through 4 tables in the crowd. It's like one of the wildest bumps that I have seen. One of the craziest spots of the night of the pay-per-view of probably AEW history, I guess. I mean, yeah, so a great match. And at the same time, you just knew Trace versus Heels and the fact that uh, HFO, they've already got like so many members. So there would be interference, especially because this was a no disqualification. So we saw all those guys like Butcher and Blade come out as well. Uh, we even had Isaiah Cassidy's partner, I think Mark Quinn, come out, but even that didn't really stop in the end. From the three guys, that is Sammy Guevara, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Sting go over. In fact, Sammy Guevara came out, Sting came out, but then they were waiting for Darby Allin, and then as soon as Darby Allin came out, he actually didn't really wait for the other two guys. He directly went to the ring and started fighting. And again, it was a crazy match. It was mayhem. It was violence. Yeah, I think another, like I said, no one was really expecting this match to be this good, but it actually was. Yeah.
Again, just a mark of respect for Sting. I mean, he has done everything in the business. This business has done so much for him, and the fact he is ready to take such risks at this age just shows his love and passion for the game, for the business. So again, this match actually had no consequence as such. It was just to uh, maybe just douse the fire of the feud that was going on, and this was again a perfect penultimate match for the overall event. So yeah, again, so we had chairs, ladders, and a lot of tables in this match. So I think that circle was complete. So again, a great match. Loved it. Rahul?
Yeah, I think they wanted, just these guys to be on the card. Like obviously Sammy Guevara is the TNT champion, Sting and Darby Allin, he's again so good. Even someone like Andrade, they just wanted these guys to compete. At the same time, I think it wouldn't really make sense for these guys to miss out, on competing in a pay-per-view like this because unlike WWE, AEW only does 4 pay-per-views in a year. So if they didn't really get this opportunity, then they would probably have to wait another 3 months, to appear on another pay-per-view. So obviously that's another good booking in a way, to keep all his performers happy, I think, by Tony Khan. So yeah, we can probably now um, move on to the main event, I think, for the AEW World title. Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole. Adam Cole on an 11 match winning streak. He's unbeaten actually in AEW. If you don't count the unsanctioned match against or unsanctioned loss against Orange Cassidy. Obviously, Adam Cole doesn't count it. Neither does the AEW ranking system. But yes, that was the whole story. That will Adam Cole get his first loss in AEW, and yeah, that happened. Like I said, these two go way back. Uh, these both of these started in Ring of Honor, the seniors match in Ring of Honor. But yeah, it's like Adam Cole has come a long way from uh, his time in Ring of Honor, and so has someone like Adam Page. So yeah, I think both guys so familiar with each other. Uh, and again, like I said, we would probably expecting some interference. So yeah, Red Dragon came out, uh, and in the end, even the odd, even Dark Order came out. But yeah, in the end, it was just these two in the ring, and Adam Cole tried to hit the last shot, but I think the story was that he didn't really remove the clothing on his foot or knee. Because of that, I think that gave uh, Hangman Page the margin to kick out. Not really sure if that makes much of a difference, but yeah, that was story that they were telling. And then another great callback to Ring of Honor, and before that, uh, Adam Page actually hit Adam Cole's finisher on uh, Adam Cole. He hit him uh, with the running knee or the last shot. I think that's what he calls him. Before he hit him with the buckshot lariat, his maneuver finishing move. He actually hit him so many times with the buckshot lariat, but again, couldn't really get the 3 count. A great match, I think. Maybe it went for too long, but then at the same time, it was the main event, and AW always they always put their uh, main events, a little bit long. Uh, it was a great match, some great moments, and in the end, I think the right person won. I don't really think it's right. It's the time uh, to take the title away from Adam Page. At the same time, I don't really think it would have been right to take for Adam Cole to take the title away from uh, Adam Page. I think maybe someone like Adam Cole can first go after the TNT title, I guess. But yeah, let's see.
Yeah, Rahul. So again, another great match. Yes, it did go on for a tad bit too long, but yeah, the Red Dragon came out. The uh, House of Dark Order, sorry, the Dark Order came out, and yeah, they tried to intervene, but yeah. So now the question here is, I mean, if I have to again, criticize this, apart from being so long, where do both of them go from here? See, it was I totally understand that this was not the right time to take the title of Hangman Page, and it was also not the right time to give the title to Adam Cole. But um, somehow out of all the matches they had, a title match uh, somehow lost its sheen given the rivalries that they was already telling. So uh, let's see whom they face now, especially Handman Page, because again that feud will go to the till the next pay-per-view at least, and that is where they'll decide whether they take the belt off him. And I don't know. I don't actually. Of course, they can take anybody, but I don't actually see a lot of um, opponents who will fit the bill as far as facing Adam Page is concerned right now, because first of all, everyone is busy in their own storyline, and if you take someone, let's say Bryan Danielson, or no, again, see, the problem is you can't have Bryan Danielson and leave John Moxley out of the equation, right? So yeah, really waiting for the Dynamite episode this week to see how the title story, gets forward. You know?
I think they also did a callback to the last episode of Dynamite. I think in that episode, I think it ended with Red Dragon and Adam Cole tying up Hangman Page, but in this match, it was the tables turned and it was Adam Page who tied Adam Cole and then dished out punishment. I kind of still feel that there are actually enough guys, for Adam Page. I think they've got so many. They've got such a great roster, and at the same time, they're always signing new guys. I'm pretty sure that someone would turn up. Maybe it will be. Maybe it's Wardlow. You never know. Could be Wardlow now in line. Maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe they want to put the title on him.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of maybes. I understand that. Of course, they don't have any dearth of talent. Um, I'm just thinking of someone at the level of Hangman Page. You get me? In terms of both skill, popularity, maybe my skills as well. So someone who looks like a genuine threat, something that Adam Cole was. They are pretty similar in a lot of respects. So because again, all the big shots, they already have their own feud going. So let's see. Let's see, something that I'm looking forward to. Yeah. Anything
Yeah,
else you want to add?
yeah. I think maybe Adam Cole, can just uh, get busy in uniting Red Dragon and Young Bucks. Maybe he'll act as the peacemaker, and that's where his time will be spent. Yeah. So I think this is the end. This brings us to the end of the podcast, guys. So anything otherwise, if you want to talk about Amitabh, otherwise
Yeah, just one last thing. Out of a 5-star rating, what would you give this particular show?
3.75. What about you?
4.25.
All right. I mean, obviously,
Okay.
it's a great rating in a way from both of us. So yeah, guys, we definitely recommend watching.
Great episode.
Maybe it's our bias or rather disgust of WWE. But yeah, I think great pay-per-view, and I think all pay-per-views are from AEW at the same. I mean, this is the first time that we're actually just devoting one show to one pay-per-view. So yeah, at the same time, like we said, because it's just one pay-per-view in 3 months, so that's why it's so good. That's why there are so many matches, and that's why there are so many good matches in one pay-per-view. So yeah, all right, guys. So see you later in our. I think we'll be back with the football preview and review podcast now. So, ciao, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys.